Gary, it's now a few days since our preliminary final defeat at the hands of Richmond. How are you feeling now that the result has fully sunk in?
Pretty proud, to be honest, Sam. I think if you sort of go back and quickly summarise, I guess, the season, it's always, obviously, with its challenges, as you know, but our pre-season was out at Salesian College in Chadstone, and of course that was terrific from that point of view, but still it was a lot of travel. Our pre-season games, practice games were all over the shop, and I think that's probably why we were a tad tired in round 1 and 2. But then we sort of got our mojo back and won 7 out of the next 8. The 8th game was a draw against Willie. And then I think the injuries and lack of continuity with some of our better players really bit home in that sort of month where we dropped 4 games in a row. Then we made, obviously, I guess, a little bit of a running in getting some personnel back. We took a little bit of a punt on some guys' fitness to try and get them match fit for potentially a finals campaign. I thought we really regrouped well, and some of our form over the last 3 weeks to finish off the home and away was pretty good, and then we set sail in the finals. So I think to win 2 games out of 3, obviously Richmond finished first for a reason, but I think I'm standing here very, very proud of how the group was able to come together at the appropriate time. You want to be playing your best footy when it matters the most, and of course that's in finals. And really, for 20 minutes of that last quarter, when Richmond got on top with their size and I guess just their overall efficient skills, it did just really hammer home. We've still got a bit of work to do, and I think when you sit at the end of every year and you analyse, we've played 46 guys this year. We've given a lot of players an opportunity to get a taste of VFL footy. Some players potentially should have played more, but of course injury curtailed that. Other players got a chance, mate, and of course it's always about opportunity. But I think if we can keep this group together and try and recontract as many players as possible, we should look forward to 2020 with a degree of confidence.
And we all know how it ended, but the boys really put up such a brave effort, didn't they? And if anything, it probably goes to display the importance of that top 4 spot, doesn't it? It's very hard to win all the way through a final series from 7th position.
It certainly is, and you can sit back and we'll analyse what we did well and what we didn't do, but yeah, it's always about trying to win enough games to qualify for top 8, and then obviously if you've done that before the season finishes, then it's to go hard for top 4. So, but having said that, we did play Geelong about a month out from the first final, and were able to prepare well and plan well, and the boys executed that game magnificently. Against Footscray it was very, very similar, and of course then Richmond, I guess it probably does show, though 3 hard finals does catch up with you at some stage, and Richmond had the week off, and I guess it's no surprise that both Richmond and Willie, who had the week off, will now play off for a grand final. So you're right, it does give you a greater chance, and I guess we fell on the side of having to play all the alignments from an AFL perspective. But again, the spirit and the belief and the confidence and just the heart and the endeavour that this group had over that finals campaign was just absolutely outstanding, mate.
And so your take on the overall season, we know that we're all about success and premierships here at Port Melbourne, but do you still give the year a tick as a base to work off with now for the future?
Yeah, I do, because obviously our list has changed quite dramatically since we won the flag in 2017, and just the way we're able to give guys genuine chances, like someone like a Lockie Waddell as an example. He's been our sort of forward ruck forward. He's missed a fair bit of footy for one reason or another. He goes to a key post down in our defence and ends up playing every game, albeit that he's got a lot of work to do. So he gets an opportunity. I think Harvey Hooper's ability to be picked in the team of the year from a VFL perspective was a real, I guess, feather in Harvey's cap. Obviously young Michael Wen got a chance late in the season because of Tom Goodwin's Achilles. So Junior O'Sullivan played every game, and we certainly wish him all the best coming back from his heavy knock. So there's a lot of shining lights. That Jake Gasper got a really good taste of VFL footy. Cal Searle was another one that played it up until the last home and away game, missed out in the early finals but came back in the prelim. So I think there's a lot to like, and those boys should be very bullish about understanding now what they can bring to the table, but also too what they need to work on, because this game evolves all the time, and just because we finished top 4 this year doesn't mean that that's an automatic gift card to do it again. And I quite often say that to finish in the bottom 4 of the 8, okay, but then to try and get to top 4 is another huge effort, and then to try and get top 2. And as you said, you do feel a little bit empty because you get so close, and 20 minutes of footy meant that we weren't going to progress another week.
And what areas do you believe the club has to improve on and grow in the most, both from a personnel point of view in terms of recruiting, but also perhaps structurally over the pre-season?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting time, I guess, for us to get our heads around what we've got to do to improve. But first and foremost, the lists are going to be cut back to 40. So we had 45 this year, so that again presents itself with another unique set of circumstances. I think it's pretty evident that our midfield depth has been pretty good throughout the course of the season, but where we need to really get stronger and better is at both ends of the ground. So that's a couple of key defenders who can take contested marks, and obviously up the other end, depending on who stays, what we can do to also get a couple of really strong key forwards, because I think at the end of the day, Richmond were just able to do that, and of course, as we know, the bigger boys don't get any shorter come game's end, and we just couldn't compete airily, and I think that was a little bit of our Achilles heel throughout the course of the season. But other than that, I think our midfield depth, as I said, is pretty good.
And just quickly, what will the next few weeks and months look like for yourself and the players? Straight into planning, I believe, for you, and ready to hit the ground running again in November. Obviously, having access to our own ground this off-season should be helpful too.
Yeah, hopefully. Has that been confirmed, has it, Sammy?
I believe so, yeah.
So best and fairest, obviously, next Thursday week. So it'll be the finish of, obviously, 2019, and the players who do end up winning those awards have obviously had seasons that are, I guess, judged on the fact that they will win those awards. And then it's about recruiting, it's about planning, it's about going through the whole list, it's about tidying up all the things we need to do to put 2019 to bed. And then obviously there's really no rest, as you know, because just because there's a finish to our season now, the next 9 weeks are pretty big on planning and getting our pre-season underway for 220, Sammy.
Well, Gary, I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the supporters in thanking you for all of your time and effort throughout 2019. It was one hell of a ride, as always. Enjoy any R&R period that you possibly can, and hopefully we'll see everyone back bigger and stronger in a few months' time.
Yeah, well, that's the aim, Sammy, and certainly I thank all your good work too, mate, asking all the questions. They're hard-hitting as always, and of course I've got to remain composed, and then we've obviously got to say a big thank you to all our Borough classified stars out there who watch us every week, and yeah, we couldn't do it without our supporters, and they're just wonderful to come every week. And we know we may not necessarily have the biggest number, but we've got the biggest number in heart. So thanks again for everybody for season 2019.
And we'll see you next year.
Good on you, mate.